Hello and welcome back to her Gypsy Rebel podcast with your host Jacqueline Van Beerk. How are you guys doing today? It's Friday. I hope you had an amazing week. I had a busy week, and I don't know about you guys, but it feels like the weeks just go by so quickly. And I had a whole list of things that I wanted to do. But you know what? One of the main things on my to-do list for the week is to feel good, to feel in alignment, and to do things that bring me joy and happiness and that are fun. So maybe that's something you want to do more of. Today's guest is definitely one of those people that puts a huge smile on my face, longtime friend, amazing musician, and most importantly, amazing person. Skumlove. He is a singer, songwriter. He does so much work as a musician as well as behind the scenes. And I had so much fun. Our conversation was super long. So I hope you have a tea, a beer, whatever you need to do, or you have a long drive, because you don't want to miss out on this one. There's so much juicy stuff that we talked about. One of the things I love about Scumlove is that he is an open book. He tells it how it is. He's so honest about stuff, just so real. You know, when you think of Los Angeles, that's not what you think, but he is a native from Los Angeles. He's definitely one of the realest people that I know of. So, with no further ado, let's get straight into the episode. What's up, Scummy?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
Good, hon. How you doing?
Good. I mean, you are. I feel like I see that to almost all of my guests because all of you guys are, especially from LA, my friends. You guys are just so fucking awesome, and you're one of my favorite people. We've got a lot of history. The reason why I wanted to have you on the show is a you're an amazing guy, and you got an amazing Cradle of Filth T-shirt.
Should I
Show
show them
everybody.
now that we're recording? Craig, they sent my kid a shirt, and I loved it because it was the most amazing Cradle of Filth shirt. I have the Jesus is a cunt shirt, but this goes further. Beware. Ready? That's a Cradle of Filth. Cradle of Filth.
At
I
first, I thought you're fucking with me. You know, I'm like,
wanted it in pink, but they only had the blue in my size, so
I want that in pink. Yeah, I gotta order that. Oh my God,
right,
that is.
it's awesome. So.
That's a good example of a band. Like, I don't really know their music, but
Mhm.
their shirts. Remember when, what's that store? The alternative store that we used to
Oh, what,
shop.
Hot Topic?
Yeah. They used to
Yeah,
have all the fucking shirts. And I'm like, these guys have the coolest fucking shirts. Like, I
yeah.
don't even care about the music. I just want the shirt. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
remember, I worked at Hot Topic back in the day. In between touring, it was at a time that you weren't allowed to have pentagrams and
really.
things like that in Hot Topic because we had our Scum Love shirt, and remember, it always has the star, the upside down star that would underline the band, right? And it wasn't a pentagram; it was just a star.
Yeah.
But and what I would do, how I started even before I started playing live with you, I I would sell my CDs and T-shirts during break times out in front of Hot Topic at University to fans that met me, and it was barely any internet or anything. I mean, we're talking 2002, 2000, 2001. The manager came out once. I was like, what are you, did you steal some stuff and trying to sell it? I go, no, it's my band. Here's my CD and there's my T-shirt. How many do you sell a day? I don't know, like 10 a day. What? What? Did you play? I go, no, it's just me and my buddy Matt. Robinson, we make the music together, and we've been selling it out of the back of our cars or my backpack. And he goes, do you play anywhere? I go, no, it's just us two. So he goes, why don't you put that in Hot Topic? I said, sure. And I showed him the shirt. He goes, what's it say? Don't hate me because I'm evil. Because I was trying to make, remember there was that, it was a shampoo commercial, Pantene or something. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Right. So I was making fun of that by saying, don't hate me because I'm evil, you know? And
Oh my
uh,
God.
so he goes, "Oh, well, you can't have the word evil and you can't have a pentagram. Maybe we make the star right side up." And I went, "No, we're not going to do that." He goes, "Well, then you can't put it in Hot Topic." I go, "Then I don't fucking want it in Hot Topic. I sell more and make more of a profit outside." So, I mean, that was that way back then, you know? So it's
God.
kind of crazy. And then all of a sudden you walk in, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and it's packed with, pentagrams and Cradle of
Yeah.
Filth shirts and the original Slayer shirts and stuff.
Isn't that funny? You were the OG. You started that shit. You started that shit. And that's a thing. I feel like whenever I think of you, and even when I talk about you with other people, it's always the same thing. We're like, Scummy is one of the coolest, fucking most like authentic people in Hollywood. You really are. Always been like a straight shooter, you just don't
I
bullshit.
appreciate it.
You don't. You're not a fake, person. You just say what you gotta say, do what you gotta do.
Well, it's I learned from watching other people as, you know, growing up in Hollywood like I did in LA and in Venice, a lot of gangs, and then you have the rock and roll stuff and drugs and all that. Um, you go two ways. Either you follow the crowd and turn out like they did, or you go against the crowd. I always went against the crowd. So when I was working up at the clubs at 15, 16, 17 years old, I didn't drink until I was in my mid 20s. And then I never did drugs. I've never smoked pot to this day.
Really?
Yeah, never smoked a cigarette, never smoked pot. So for me, um, I never went with the crowd because I saw them getting messed up and losing things and not going further, and then them making bullshit up. And I was like, I don't want to be like those people. Plus, my family, my family side, my parents were heavy into drugs and alcohol and stuff, and that just I didn't want to be like them either. So I just kind of went the opposite way with that stuff. And
Wow.
you learn after dealing with so many shyster kind of people in Hollywood that talk a big game and don't follow through, as you and I know many of them because we played shows for many of these people and stuff. Um, it's I didn't want to be like those people. I'd rather just say what's on my mind and be honest. And if you don't like it, at least there's a reason you don't like it because I was honest with you.
Yeah.
And I want people to be honest with me. And even if it doesn't work out, there's that, hey, at least we were on the same page and we were honest about it. And that's another thing, like why I liked your band is because we would play shows like anytime this because we would play shows and I'd say, hang on, I got a band, you know? and I would call you guys up. And I think the first time we really met and hung out was at, I think it was the Key Club in that,
Hmm.
in that RV thing,
Yes, yes.
you know, and we shared that room and we really kind of hit it off, like, you and Jim and us. And we were like, and we liked each other's bands.
Yes.
That to me was the coolest part is that we actually liked each other's music. So then when it was like you would call me, go, hey man, I got this show, we're playing this next month, and you know what, we really want a band to play with us, and we'd open up for you, and then we'd call you and you'd open up for us, and we would always make sure that it wasn't bullshit shows. It would be quality shows. Of
Hmm.
course, we both fell for bullshit stuff
Oh yeah,
sometimes,
of course.
but that's this, that's Hollywood.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I was a fan first of music. I never wanted to be in a band. I never wanted to play music. I never wanted to sing. I don't think
Really?
I don't think I'm a good singer. I didn't never like that stuff. I always wanted, like when people ask, what did you want to do when you were growing up? I go, I wanted to work in the music industry.
Huh.
And they said, oh, really? I said, yeah, I wanted to work behind the stage. So I did. I worked in for magazines. I worked for clubs, and me, I'm an A&R guy now. So I'm doing exactly what I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. I
Hmm.
just somehow accidentally started making music and stuff, you know?
I was gonna ask you, how did it all start? Like, how did you? So you first of all, it's fascinating that you're from LA because I think a lot of people are not even from LA that are in LA. And
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder because, when people say, "Oh, everybody in LA is so fucking fake," and they're, it's all the people that come to LA
Yeah.
to want to be someone and do whatever it takes, meaning, lying, betraying other, whatever it takes to get
Yeah.
fame and fortune. But the real people, the OGs, the people that grew up in LA, they're not like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It gets a bad rap, you know?
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, it's like when people say people from New York are assholes.
Yeah.
No, they're just in a rush. Get out of my way.
Yes.
Every time I've gone to New York, people have been really courteous,
Same.
very nice. They kind of go, okay, yeah, yeah, we talked. Now get out of my way,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But they're
They're
very,
blunt.
like, look at your guitar player, Jim. One of
Yeah.
the most sweetest, nicest motherfuckers I ever met will give you his last dollar, you know, and he's from New York, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that doesn't show that they're nice people there. It's the same thing. It's like, this is how I look at LA. LA is a canvas that many people have painted on.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else comes from somewhere else, whether it be from overseas or just from another state.
Yeah.
They start painting over someone else's work. Then someone else comes, paints over their work. And it's just a jumble of stuff. And then when you ask, why'd you paint over my stuff? I am painting over your stuff. But as your name, it wasn't me. That's LA. They come here to rewrite their story, to become something that they weren't back home. You don't even know how many like models, girls I met on the road that were like, "Oh, I can't wait to come to LA and be a model." And I, me, I'm pretty blunt, and I'm like, "Honey, we're in Florida, and you're like an 8 in Florida. You're beautiful here. In LA, you're like a 4, and you're going to get lost. You're in a nice little pond here in Florida. LA is the sea. You're going to go there and get swept up, and no one's going to see you again. And it takes a lot to push against that current to become something,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I go, but you can try. Fuck yeah, go try. And most of them don't make it. Some of them do. I've seen a few make it, you know. But you gotta you gotta be strong willed to live in LA.
Oh yeah.
Everyone goes, "Oh, dude, you're so successful. You work at a guitar company and you do this and that. Dude, you must make lots of money." No, I drive a Rav 4. I live in a apartment complex in North Hollywood, and I pay up the wazoo, you know. And as you know, because you used to live down the street here,
Yeah.
and I I don't make I make a good living at Schechter, but if I was by myself, it would be great. But I have kids and a wife and things like that. And so I have to do extra jobs. I got to do extra work. I got my hustle gigs. And I don't do it. Sure, I do it because I love doing those things, because I'm only going to work at things I want to work at and what I love. But it's still a job, and it's still
Yeah.
extra work. Like, I'm exhausted right now. For the last 2 weeks, I haven't had a time where I came home from work and just vegged out on the sofa watching TV.
Oh.
I've been working nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it takes to be in LA. It's nonstop work. You can't just come in and go, I'm pretty. You know, it takes a lot more than being pretty and talented. As you
Yeah.
know, you're you're pretty and you're talented.
Thank
You're
you.
probably one of the most talented songwriters I know.
Thank
And
you.
it's hard. It's hard,
It's hard.
you know?
It is. It is hard because it's not just a talent. It's like you have to be in the right place at the right time.
Yes.
Nobody wants to hear that, but that's just the reality.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, because we both know a lot of talented people who sadly, some of them don't even do music anymore,
Yeah.
because the music industry, and that's what I focus on with this whole series, with the music series, is that of course we all fucking love music and it's beautiful. And I think it's such a gift that we have. And you
Uh,
didn't even want that, right? You're like, oh, I just want to be behind the scenes. And the next thing you know, Jim always says that. He's like, Scummy one of my favorite fucking artists in LA. Like every time, and Jim, he's like very blunt.
yeah.
Every time we would go to see you guys play, he's fucking singing along.
Yeah.
He's rocking out. He don't do that shit. We went to fucking see Lincoln Park, okay? He's standing there. He's the only one standing still, not moving. Everybody's like dancing, singing along. Jim was like, it's good. Can get
Right.
at a Skumlove show, he's like all in. So it's a curse and a blessing, I think, because obviously it's beautiful to do music, but a lot of people don't understand the behind the scenes, and even the shows we've played, the blood, sweat, and tears that went into it, to put the shit together. But I always say this, and I'll never get tired of saying it, because what young artists need to know is what we used to do is so rare.
Yeah.
Because I found you guys, you found us, we found each other. Because in LA, a lot of people gatekeep, right? They're like
Yeah.
great bands. They're like, oh, I don't want to tell them who my manager is and if they could get on this show because I want to get on. It's like nobody can take anything from you. But with us, it was always just open. We're like, let's put a fucking event together.
Yeah,
Let's,
dude.
you
You would
know?
always go, hey, guess what? Like you guys helped me. Like you said, hey, I got into this writing group and we're doing music for
Yeah.
movies, TVs. Can you come and do some vocals on some stuff and I could take some of your songs? You didn't say, well, if I do that, you owe me.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, let's do this. And then I would go, hey, there's this gig coming up, and guess what? It fucking pays.
Yeah.
Pick all the bands I want. No tickets this time. I can give you a couple $100. Okay, let's do it. And we'll do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like we helping each other. I've always been that person.
You've
Because
always been that person.
fan since before I was playing, I was a fan of music.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it's weird to go back a little bit. I remember the day before the LA riots. I did the very first punk show at the Whiskey since it reopened because a lot of people don't know the Whiskey closed in the early like mid 80s.
Oh,
Like back,
really?
it closed for a few years.
Really?
Yeah, they still
Okay.
land and all that, and they had the offices upstairs, but it closed for a couple years. When it reopened, they said no heavy metal bands, no punk bands, because one of the reasons they basically closed is because of all the Black Flag shows and
Oh.
punk shows were getting violent, and there was always cops there, and so they said no punk shows, no metal shows, only alternative grunge and glam only, right? And that was that time in LA that like the late 80s, early 90s that there was no scene.
Yeah.
Nobody knew, it wasn't like we want to jump on this bandwagon. There was no wagon
Hmm.
to jump on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very well. So we would, a friend of mine saw me at a show and was like, you're a really interesting kid. I was like 16, 17, I was like, you're a really interesting kid. I see you at a lot of shows. So you know some cool bands. Well, I do these rock shows at the Whiskey and at this place called Red Light District. And it's mainly glam shows, but I'm a punk. Like he had a Misfits shirt on. His name was Henry Spiegel. And he goes, I really want to put some punk bands and some metal bands on these shows, but I can only put them on early. you know, can you help me out? I'll, kick you down a couple bucks for each band you bring me. He did the pay to play thing, but back then no one was making money. It's almost like right now. There's no real scene in LA,
Really?
and and it's weird up at the strip. So I said, okay, I'll help you out. So I put my friends' bands to open up at like 8 o'clock, 7:30 slots, right? And we started doing really good. And at that point, I started doing flyers for Epitaph Records. So Epitaph's like, hey, we've seen some of your rock flyers you've made for like Hong Kong Cafe and all these little punk clubs. I'm like, yeah, bands pay me to make flyers. Like, well, will you make some punk rock flyers for, we're a new company called Epitaph. We have Bad Religion, and they weren't huge at that time. I said, yeah, sure. They go, we got this band called The Offspring that just came out, and we really need to promote them. Okay. And we got no effects. Okay. So I did this show. It was the April 28th, the day before the LA riots. So I called the Whiskey and I was like, listen, they just put out an album called Ribbed, and there's a song called LA, ELLAY. And it's basically making fun of the glam rock stuff in Hollywood, right? And but one of the things is tight spandex pants, blue suede shoes, got to get my picture in Rock City News is one of the lines. I was working for Rock City News at the time doing reviews. And so I said, I can get you in Rock City News. And they're all, dude, shut up. We're just joking about going, no, we're going to get you, front cover. So we did. And we put them their first big show, because they used to only play like Anti-Club in these small little shitholes. So we put them up there with a couple band called Junkhead's Revenge, uh, Glue Gun, and Terminal Hawk, just some local bands. So me being the fan that I am, I'm only doing it because it's a fan. I'm a fan, and I had to lie to the manager, Sean Tuttle, who has now passed away a few months ago. But I went, Sean, we got some show coming. He goes, yeah, what's this No Effects? And I went, they're a rock band. Really? I've never heard. Well, see, it says No Effects. That means they use no effects on their guitar. He went, okay, whatever. And he knew we put on like one metal or punk band early in this thing most of the time, so he kind of oversaw those things. But this was a full-fledged punk show, and we did it, and it was sold out, packed, and the bar's doing good, and all the bands played great, and I got paid really well. The Henry was like, man, you did great here, and paid me more than technically the band members made, because they bitched about that. So I went home. Well, I went back with my girlfriend at the time to her house, which is the mother of my oldest child. And so went back to their house and spent the night and woke up to the riots. So I was stuck at the house for like 4 or 5 days.
Holy shit.
With Hollywood on fire. I mean, there was, on the corner of Wilcox and Hollywood, there was a Tommy's Burgers there, Playmates on the other corner, and then there was like an indoor, like like a swap meet mall kind of thing on that other corner. Well, we were behind it,
Oh,
and
wow.
it caught on fire. So I had hoses, and I was out there, hose. My arms were all singed. The front of my hair was singed from the heat. But back to the show, it was like, I never thought about it that perspective, because I think of in the moment. Show was over. Now I'm dealing with riots. Now I'm dealing with this. Next day dealing with it. Whatever it was. So I think it was last year or 2 years ago. The guys from Jughead's Revenge who were on that show reached out. And, man, I'm so glad to catch up with you on Facebook, dude. You guys really broke us. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, man, you put us on that No Effects show. That was the first punk rock show back at the Whiskey ever since they opened. I go, what are you talking about? So you don't get it, do you? You did punk. You brought punk back to the Sunset Strip. Because after that, I did Vandals, Offspring, and Sublime on one show.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Local bands, except for Vandals. And then Sublime broke. Offspring still had it broke. And they were mad because I didn't want to pay them the $200 that I promised them, because they didn't bring it. I go, you brought 10 people at $10 a head. Here's $100. Go. And then a year later, the millions of albums, and they're multimillionaires. I still talk to those guys, and it's crazy to see that happen. And it's but I did all those flyers and I promoted one of Rancid's first shows in LA at the Coconut Teaser. That's how small that is. You know,
What?
I did Pennywise, and there's you just go on YouTube and see video of Pennywise at the whiskey, and I'm announcing them on stage. I have dreadlocks and a hat, no effects shorts, and I'm like, please welcome Pennywise. Big old pit. My brother Russell and the other poor kids are in fights with all these like South Bayers that showed up, and it turns into almost a riot at the whiskey. And then you see the sheriffs come in the side door, and they're like, "You got to stop the show." And I was like, "I don't want to stop." They're like, "Or we arrest you for inciting a riot." So I jumped up on stage, turn on the mic, okay, stop the show. We're gonna stop. Sheriffs are here. Show's over. It's on YouTube. It's funny. And I'm this skinny little kid, you know. I was like 19, 20 years old or something. So, but see, I don't, with me, I don't look at those things. Like I talk about it now because that's what we're here for, is to talk about it. But
Yeah.
I don't want, I'm like, I did the first punk show. And
Yeah.
I'm just some dude who, works at a guitar company and DJs on the side and feeds my family. I don't look at it in any other perspective but that, you know?
You know what's interesting is that we as musicians often think that success is fame, right? It's the
Yeah,
offspring, it's like whatever. But I feel yes, you are not rich, but all the shit you've done, like first of all, your band Skumlove, right? You've done like tours. We've played many shows together. You've toured with the band. You met a lot of because in the guitar. So you do both, the best of both worlds in a way, because you also work
yeah,
for Check the Guitars and you meet all your heroes or like a lot of your heroes, a lot of bands who are, touring on a giant level and you get a chance to, and actually Ratan and I we talked about that, how you would always manage, you had like monster sponsorship, you had like always, you made shit happen. And so it's interesting to me because when people just see the oh, that's the band on stage, amazing, I wish I could be a rock star like you because it looks like so much fun. And yes, it is fun and it's rewarding and fulfilling, but there's also so much work in the background. And
yeah,
you just mentioned it, right? Like and I guess you always had that gift. I think you just like a natural promoter because you don't even, most promoters, honestly, let's be real, don't even promote. They don't
yeah,
do that job. But I think you have that passion, and most people just do it for the money, right? Most people
yeah,
like, oh, this is my fucking job. I'm a promoter and big ego, big,
yeah. Book
but
10
they don't.
and take their money and then call it a day.
Yeah, and you did it for passion, and I love that. So when did you decide that, okay, I'm gonna start a band?
Um, well, there was a lot of music out there that I loved, but I can never find what would be my ultimate band. I liked punk rock. I liked metal. I liked industrial. I liked rave music and electronica, things like that. I was promoting some of the first raves out here in LA, like warehouse shit,
That's
because
awesome.
my roommate was a big promoter. He did like, this one big one called Madam Butterfly and all these other ones that were huge.
Oh, wow.
Started the rave scene in LA, right? Um, and I was his roommate, so he'd have me make flyers. Can you make flyers and help me promote it and push this? And sure. Um, he did all the big leg work. I just did the help with the promotions. But um, there just wasn't one band that I was like, this is the ultimate band.
Mm.
And I started going, well, maybe I'll make my own music. So I was working with Dino from Fear Factory. I was in Venice at my tattoo shop. I was a body piercer back then. See, I've lived the lives of five
I was
men.
gonna say, what else did you do? Like body piercing? I didn't even know about that. That's awesome.
I was a body piercer and I owned part of a shop. So he gave me this thing called the Roland Groove Box 303. And I just started fucking around with it, making beats and then putting like synth bass and stuff. This is hysterical, right? So I found this Radio Shack karaoke machine about this big, two cassette players. So you can listen to the music and you can sing along to it and record it. And it had inputs, a couple of inputs for microphones. I bought like a, I don't know, $50 Fender bass, P bass, and from a friend. And so I would plug that in, plug in the groove box on a cassette. Remember the cassette you use for your car that you would put for your CD player? I
Mm-hmm.
put that in and run that to the groove box. And then I plugged the bass in and a microphone through a DoD grunge bass pedal, and then
Holy sh!
I had a rat pedal that I'd run my vocals through, and I would push, I push record on the cassette player, push play on the groove box, and then play bass to it, you know, and then try to sing along while playing bass.
That's hard.
Most of the time, I was really hard to sing, so I would play the bass and all that. Take that tape out, put it in the other tape player, put a new tape in, and then sing along to it. There was a distortion thing, and I was making electronic music with guitar before really that was a huge thing. And like I knew Nine Inch Nails, I knew Ministry, but both of them were still in their infancy of like Land of Rape and Honey Ministry and Pretty Hate Machine, Nine Inch Nails. And I was like, if these electronic bands had heavy guitar, I didn't have a guitar, I had a bass, so I just put a bunch of distortion and played it. Well, I used to listen to it on my headphones. And that was like, I'm making my ultimate band, the band I want to hear. So I was always in my Walkman, my cassette Walkman.
That is fucking cool.
Right. And then Matt, or AKA Robinson, Matt would come in and, we'd hang out all the time. And he's like, "Oh, what are you playing?" Just making some music. And he was like, "Well, let me hear it." Oh, here's a song. And I think the first song was called Ego, which we just re-recorded recently. So we did that. I had this little piano piece, and I reenacted a drum beat from a Snoop Dogg song. I can't even remember which one it was that had these little kind of thing. And so I redid that through the bass line and the keyboard piece, this little piano piece over it. And he goes, "Let me plug in." And he plugged in and he listened to it a couple times. He goes, "Okay, record." So I started recording on that little fucking, Radio Shack thing, and he played on top of it. And I went, and he goes, "Okay." I go, "That's all you want to put on it?" He goes, "That's all it needs." I go, "I'm so glad you said that because you played exactly what was in my mind." We didn't discuss where to put guitar. And he's a minimalist, so he didn't try to play and do all these solos. He just dun 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 dun, kind of thing, and put exactly where it needed to go. And I went, "That's exactly what's in my mind. How do you know this? This is awesome." So then we always hung out, but we never really put the band together. And we did "I Am Your God" and a couple other songs, and we just kind of listened to it in his car all the time, right? And right after that, I got a job working for Danzig at his comic book company. So I would be in the mail room sending out the comic books, putting them in mail order things and sending them out. And I was playing my song. And Glenn walked in. He goes, "Hey, Scummy, you know a lot of bands, right?" And I go, "Yes, Glenn, I know a ton of bands." Yeah. "Well, I want to start signing some bands. I want to start my new label, Evil Live Up." And I went, "Oh, okay, cool." Because, "Yeah, I got a new distributor. Danzig's going to be on it. And I'm kind of probably re-release some Sam Hain stuff, but I want some new bands. I kind of want that, like what you're playing right now. Who's this? This is awesome. This is kind of like Skinny Puppy, Lords of Acid with guitar. What's this?" And I went, I turned it off real quick. And he went, "Why'd you do that? Turn it back. Let me listen to that." So I played it again, and he went, "Who is this?" And I went, it's me." "What?" I go, "That's my music." "You have a band?" "Well, no, it's just me." He goes, "I'm signing you. Done." Now, anytime I tell that story, people are like, "You're so lucky Oh, you make it seem so easy. And again, like you just said earlier, it's who you know, being at the right place at the right time. Now, through Henry Spiegel, who I met in the slam pit, this old long hair, blonde hair, gray haired guy, he knew Glenn. So I met Glenn originally at Rock City News because Henry's office was behind Rock City News. He still
Mm.
lives in that same office. And I was waiting for him to come and open the door, and there was an old sofa on the porch. So I just laid down on the porch on the sofa and fell asleep. And I got this kick, hey kid, and I woke up and looked up, and I was like, oh, "You're Glenn Danzig," and he went, "I know who the fuck I am. Where's Henry?" And I go, "Henry's not here yet. I think he's at the gym." "Oh man, I'm supposed to go to the gym with him. Tell him I stopped by." And I was like, "That was Glenn Dan. What the? Oh my god! I just met Glenn Danzig." I was big on, and this is like second album Glenn Danzig. So later on, he came back, and Henry and him were hanging out. And he's like, "Oh, this is my right hand man, Scummy. He does all the stuff for me. He writes at Rock City News, helps me book. He's great. Well, bring him along. We're playing the Universal Amphitheater. Bring him along, you know." And I was in the pit, of course, and almost pulled Glenn off the stage because I was up on stage and he was singing something to me, Black Wings or something, and I grabbed his and he's holding his hand, and I started backwards, and he always like, "Whoa!" Right? So I would see him a lot with Henry, and then he's like, "Where's Henry at?" I kind of moved on from Henry stuff, and I'm trying to get another job, and I'm working at a tattoo shop down in Venice, but I need some more work. "Oh, you want to work for me and work in my mail room?" Sure. And that's how I got to Glenn. So it's who you know and
Yeah.
where you're at the right time. But unlike some people, I actually take pride in what I do in my work. So I went worked there, and that's he heard my music. He's like, "I'm going to sign you." I mean, what? What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. I don't know. So he's like, "Yeah, you better start working. What's the name of your band anyway?" I go, "I don't know." He goes, And he walks off. And I'm thinking, what should I call myself? Floodgate, horror something, concrete. What? I'm just thinking a stupid name.
Yeah, yeah.
He goes, "I got it." I go, "What?" He goes, "Well, your name is Scummy. That's your name you go by, Scum. And your last name is Love." And I went, "Yeah, your band's going to be Skumlove because those are two contrasting things, and it's perfect. And also, no one can ever take your name from you.
Yeah.
This is why my band is called Danzig. No one can ever take my name. They could take the Misfits like they did, but they can't take Danzig. It's my name. Your
Mm.
name, we can't call your band Love. There was already a band called that in the 60s. So your name is Scum Love. That's going to be your band. One name." Okay. And then next thing you know, a couple weeks later, "Oh, you're going to go on tour with me." "I am." "I don't even have a band." "No, you're not going to play. You're going to work for me on the road." And I run samples and keyboards because at that time he was starting to do the electronic dancing crap that no one really liked. But now, if you listen back, you're like, "Oh, I get it now." So he's like, "I want you to run the samples and some keyboard shit. Can you play keys?" "Well, yeah, a little bit. I'm no musician. And at last minute, he goes, "Okay, we're not bringing the keyboard out. You're just going to be my assistant. I want you. I want you to learn what it's like to be a roadie and what people go through for that. And this way, you learn to respect those that work for you when you become a big rock star." I said, "Yeah."
Wow.
And my first tour was Ozfest. It was Oz, Danzig, Sepultura, and Biohazard. The first day of tour, I almost got thrown out because Danzig's like, "I like to party, I bring some girls back here." And I went to go get girls and didn't know how to do that. But took passes and gave them to some girls and brought them back to the tour bus. And Ozzy's guys came running up. "Hey, you can't be bringing people back here. What are you doing?" Da, 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 da. And grabbed me by my jacket. I'm in my little young 20-year-old, like 20 something, going, "Oh, I don't know." Glenn came out with a flashlight in his hand. "Get your hands off my boy. I'll fuck you up." You know, and they're like, "Well, you can't do this. Fuck you. I'll sue you. You can't kick me off the tour." Da, da, da. And I'm just almost in tears. You know, I'm like, "There's girls on the bus. They're not going to like me because I'm crying right now." You know, and, and I went on the tour and I toured a lot with Danzig, and I was his assistant for probably 15 years or so. And then I got Crazy Craig in to take over for me. But Glenn was like, "I want you to learn." And then when I got back home, he's like, "Okay, you're going to have to start writing an album." I was like, "Okay." So he put me in Mates in the big Guns N' Roses room. Now, for people that don't know, there's Mates has, I think, 4 rooms.
So
One is a
Mates is like a big recording
yeah,
rehearsal
like a
space.
rehearsal room. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Guns N' Roses room has full monitors, full lights, full PA. It's called the Guns N' Roses room because that's where Guns N' Roses started when they were signing. They have gold albums, platinum albums in there, and a Guns N' Roses pinball machine. Well, I'm like, "Well, okay, I guess it's just Matt and I going to be sitting here." He goes, "No, no, no, no. You're using my band." I mean, what? He goes, "Joey C is going to come in. Joey Castillo is going to come in and help you with drums. Todd Youth is going to go in there and help you with guitar." I'm like, "What the? Oh, okay. I guess I got Dan's going to be my backup band." We started writing stuff. And I just sitting there with a little, pad and paper, writing stuff and trying to, let's see, because I don't really know how to sing. But we got some cool stuff. And it was a lot more hardcore, a little more just, harder edge stuff because we weren't writing electronics yet.
Uh-huh.
And Glenn came in, at one point, like a week later, and he's like, "So, what'd you get down? What do you got? What do you got for me?" And I was like, "Here's this one." And we recorded it on tape. And here you go. And he went, "What's this hardcore? It's supposed to be like electronic band. I'm not producing it. Fuck this." And like left, walked out on me. And I'm in tears. You know me, I'm a big emotional kid. So I'm like, "Oh, I do." And they're like, "Dude, don't worry about it, kid. You're fine." I'm like, and I got paid for the record deal like 15 grand. My lawyer I had to get a lawyer, Bill Barrel. And so I ended up with like 12 grand after the lawyer, of course. Well, then he put me in Mates, which is like $150 an hour. But my buddy Bobby there, who owns the place, was like, "I'm going to charge you like 75 bucks, half price." Okay. And, but that's still spending, that's not a lot of money, even
Yeah.
back. So, and then, Todd Hughes, was like, "Yo, kid, what are you going to pay me?" "I don't know, $100 a day." "Okay, I'll take it." Joey C was like, "Man, you don't have to pay me. Just tell Glenn you did, you know? And the funniest thing, during one of the days, we walked out for a break and I hear some music that's like, "Oh, what is this? I know this. What is this?" "Sounds like the Cult." And one of the guys out there was like, "Yeah, the Colt's in the room next to you here." I was like, "In the smaller room?" "No." "Do they want to trade rooms with me? Because I'm not using it." They're like, "Yeah, they just reformed because they haven't played like 10 years." And I was like, "They can have my room. I'll trade them. I'm just writing." "Nah, they're cool. They're already set up in there." And then another guy walks out who Todd and Joey knew. And they're like, "Hey, yo, what's up? What are you doing? Who are you working for?" "Oh, Kiss. We're in the other room," which is a small room, the little room there, which is like a fucking closet. But they have all the Kiss stuff piled to the ceiling. You can barely walk in. And drum set, white drum set with the crosses on it because it's the original Kiss at that, coming to do their reunion. So we walked in and talking to him, and I was like, "This is crazy. Tell Kiss they can have my room. I'll trade them. I'm not the big room guy. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. And he's like, "I'm not moving this gear again. Fuck that." You know, because they literally had like 4 stacks of high to the ceiling. And this
Holy
place
shit.
is as big as my office at Schecter, So it's just crazy. But then Glenn said he didn't want to produce me anymore. So I had to start doing it on my own. And that's what basically turned into me putting a band together, which was Dino from Fear Factory, you remember.
Mm.
Uh, uh, Justin Bennett who was in professional murder music at the time, but then Thrill Kill Cult and Skinny Puppy as
Mm.
of recent. Um, Frank Mercurio of Cypress Hill and SX10. He was a bass player.
Crazy.
Like this guy we called the boy who was playing keyboards. And our first show was the Dragonfly, and we sold it out. And I was scared shitless. I almost threw up in the bathroom before I got on stage. I was shaking. So I played in punk bands, like just fucked around a little bit. But punk is like you do whatever the fuck you want. No
Yeah.
one cares. In its
Yeah.
backyards, you know. It's the first time on a real stage. But as soon as I hit that stage, I went from shaking to zoned in on it and did it. And half the people there, because I wasn't always the nicest guy back in the day, and I was cocky. I was young. I wanted to bang everybody's girlfriend. I was stupid. And so I had half the people were there to see me play, but then there was another half of that crowd that were hoping I was going to fall off the stage.
Yeah.
But it was sold out. And all the bands that played were uh, it was their first show too, except for professional murder music who played after us, and no slack on them, but literally most of the crowd left by the time they got on. So they asked us to come back, and we sold it out a couple more times at Dragonfly. And our second show ever, we played the Whiskey, which was 3 months later. We sold out our first show at the Whiskey, and so I don't know how that happens. I was like, well, because Dino's in the band and Frank's in the band, and people want to come see Dino and Frank and whatever. But it's just bizarre, But that's how I got started with the band, and it just kept going. I kept getting, come play with this band, go, play, Typo's playing at the House of Blues, and it's almost sold out. Can you guys come and open up and bring in an extra 100 people? Sure. Oh, Prong's playing at the House of Blues. Can you come play and open for Prong? Sure. Hey, you want to go on tour with Gina Torches for 4 shows, or Combi Christ? And I was the band that they would call for like 3 or 4 shows on the West Coast, you know, and we never had to buy on to a tour. We rarely did tickets. We did some ticket stuff with you guys when we'd play the Roxy or something. But for the most part, if I was doing a show, I said no ticket sales, no,
Yeah.
none of that pay to play. And, we're bringing you guys on, and there's no ticket sales and shit for you guys either. Okay, well, the other 3 bands opening up will have to do it. That's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I always demanded that.
That was always and that's also something people don't know. When you are in an opening band, usually you have to buy onto a tour, and it's
Yeah,
not cheap. People don't know that.
yeah,
And it was a little bit of a culture shock when we came from New York to LA. I didn't realize the whole ticket sales. And it's funny because it sounds good at first,
yeah,
right? You're like, oh, I only have to sell 50 tickets, and then after 50, it's all mine.
yeah,
But you have to bring 50 people in LA. That's not easy unless you are actually from LA or you
yeah,
know a lot of people. That is really not that easy. I mean, you did it all the time. Then the Luna Click did it, and there were a few other bands who really did well. And that's such a great thing for you because now you are the go-to band. Like every time, like you said, every time there's like a big band coming through, who do they want? A band that brings in more people,
yeah,
and puts on a great show because you guys also were entertaining and putting on a great show. But I think it's always been your thing that subconsciously you are such a good promoter, you don't even have to promote. But people love you or even hate you. And that's also not a bad thing because you need
yeah,
haters, right?
yeah,
They'll come just to fucking try to fucking piss on your parade, but it's not,
yeah. The
they
haters,
can't.
when they come on Facebook and they talk shit to somebody, thank you, because you're
Yes.
making more people come to the page. And guess what? I'm making $1.50 off of every post I make because you came up and started talking shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they forget that part. You thank you. for
Yeah.
coming and talking shit because I just made money off you. That made me a nickel every time you tell me to fuck off. And
Exactly.
at the end of the month, I've got $100 in my bank account because of you. So thank you. You know, it's those kind of things.
Yeah, totally. And I think you also were really smart about, again, I think it's also your authenticity that you had really great relationships with like the whiskey because you need to kind of know these owners and they need
Yeah.
to know you and trust you that when you bring on a band like us or someone else that's kind of newer, that you kind of vetting for them,
Yeah.
and they trust you. They're like, all right, if you say they're good or you
Hmm.
guys gonna fill the place. Um, one thing Ritan and I talked about, which I have to bring up with you because it was so funny. We played this house party. I forget whose house it was. It was so cool.
Oh, was that the one off of Santa Monica?
It was the one where you ended up being naked.
Yes, yes. That was off of Santa Monica. That was James Jetson or whatever his name was, Johnny Jetson
Yes,
from
yes.
Tattooed Millionaires, Johnny Jetson.
Oh my God. That was one of my favorite shows ever because not only did we kick ass, but and every time we did a show, what I always loved about it is that we always put
Oh,
on an event, not a show.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It was always an event, meaning that from the minute people walked in the door and the first band hit the stage until the last band on stage, everybody had a freaking blast. Nobody left. You know how in LA, a lot of times when a band plays, they play at 10 o'clock and then they take the crowd with them, they take their fans with them and go to the Rainbow. Versus, like, no, we're all going to stay in the club. The
Yeah.
party stays at the club. Nobody takes the party outside the club?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I was always into. Like,
Yes.
let's throw a party for
Yes.
everybody. I tell
Yes.
people about that because that summer we did it a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was my answer to the pay to play thing. Because at that point, because when you guys first got, yeah, sure, we can do 50 tickets. And if you sell them all, we'll give you another 50 and you can keep the money off of that, or we split it half, whatever the promoter says.
Yeah.
So you can make a little bit of money, but a lot of work. Um, so I'm going to my car because my phone's about to die.
It's hard to bring 50 people when you're new, when you're a
But
new band.
help,
But yeah, that's what I always loved about working with you because there's other bands that were just like promoting themselves. They didn't even mention the other bands. And that just, it drove me up the wall sometimes. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is teamwork. Let's all work
Yeah.
together.
Well, what I would tell people even today, if you want to get around the pay to play, because now it's like just give us money, you get to play, you make no money, right? And we take portions of your merch sales and all that. But that's
Crazy.
also setting these bands up for when they go out on the road. It's worse, you know. But I tell people, I go, what you need to do is rent out a place like we did.
Yes.
Rented out Johnny Jetson's place.
Yeah.
We give him $100, and he gives us his house. And we buy $100 worth of alcohol and beer, $200 worth of beer, give it all out, and everyone starts to show up. I did that once a month for 4 months around spring, summertime. I think you did one or two of those with me.
Yeah.
And then I go from there. We would then book a show at a bigger club, and guess what? The place would be packed
Yes.
because when you open up, say for just bring a band, Napalm Death, let's say, you're opening up for Prong, somebody like that. Okay, you guys got to pay us, $400 in order to do that. You can play, but then you're playing, and you're not playing to anybody else. And sometimes the tickets you're selling to open up for Prong, the people are buying them because it's Prong, so they're not even going to
Yeah.
be there when you play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that sucks. But I said the way to do that instead is throw your own gigs.
So smart.
Throw
So
your
smart.
own gigs. You can spend $200 or $300 and get a place, invite all your friends and their friends, throw a party, and then after that, they start liking you because they actually start listening to your band because they're there because that's where the alcohol is.
Yeah.
And then now, when you go, hey, we're playing the whiskey, or we're playing the Viper Room. Come and see us. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna come see you. Fuck, you guys throw great parties. I'm gonna come see you now.
Fuck yeah.
And that's what we did. And some people are like, oh, I don't even know how to do that. And what's ironic and weird and full circle, we're playing the Viper Room coming up November 8th. We're doing tickets, and we haven't done tickets in a million years. Because the whiskey pays us a guarantee,
Yeah.
We do percentages. And when we go play Vegas, we get percentages, and Orange County. Viper's not that way right now, which is fine. But, Matt Zane was like, dude, they want us to play. We want you to play, because Matt Zane can't get gigs to save his life. So I've been booking him with us. He has, his craziness that happens with his life. So, but I'm like, I've known you a million years. You've never done me wrong, so I'm going to fuck what anybody else on the internet says about you. Come and play with us, So this time he called me about it, and then like, oh, well, they do tickets there. I go, fuck it. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I'm nervous about it, but see, we don't have to sell a certain amount. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus, I think the Viper also, like when you play venues like that, first of all, it has a name. So people like to go to the Viper because the vibe is cool.
Yeah.
And also it's you. So you have a lot of people. So that kind of helps a lot too. And yeah, Matt Zane, it's interesting that you mentioned him, because I watched his documentary and I invited him to the show as well. And when I watched this documentary, I was like, holy fuck, I didn't even know half the shit that he was going through.
Yeah.
It's my dog. I'm like, who the hell is behind me?
Hey, buddy.
One of my dogs. But so how did LA change? Because so you played a lot of shows and you work for Schecter. There's two questions I want to ask you. One is like how it's so sad to me. I think House of Blues is gone, right?
Yeah.
On Sunset. So what the fuck? And is the Key Club still there?
No, I think it's called Oak One now.
Ew.
And it's like a dance club.
Ew.
And they have a lot of issues there. There's always like shooting and bullshit there. So it's called Oak One, and it's just like a dance kind of club. They're trying to make it exclusive kind of place. But it's the strip's not even it was slow, but still packed for what I know it from. When you came to LA, for you guys are, wow, look at this shit. This is crazy. All these people are at the Rainbow, and people are out on the streets, and we're walking back and forth, and ain't none of that anymore. There's people at the Rainbow, but it's on the weekends.
Yeah.
And it's a whole new crowd that I don't even know.
Right.
The Roxy, I don't even know the last time I even been to the Roxy. And you and I sold the Roxy out.
I love that place. That was my favorite place.
That?
I love that band. Yes.
That was an insane show.
That was the best show we ever did. And I love the place too. Everything was perfect. The bands, because I remember all these bands that night. I'll never forget that, because everybody stayed. We had the crowd stayed from beginning to end. They had a blast because every band was good. Every band supported the other band, all the other bands, and that was just the perfect. It was like a family gathering. It was amazing.
And the crowd was crazy, and it was sold out. There's a local show, even I remember Rattan and DB's band opened up with us.
Oh,
remember they put on bandanas.
Dramedy?
Not the Dramedy. What was their band together? They had a band together. That's how I met them.
He just told me about that. It was not Dramedy. It was the band before that. I forget now the name.
It was because I think I actually went to, and one of them can tell you. I think I was auditioning for a guitar player, and DB came and he goes, "Well, I got a brother named Rattan who plays drums." So I go, "Fuck, I need a drummer too." I just took them both,
Yeah, that was awesome.
And that was a good time during Skumlove because we did really well. We did a lot of tours. We did the Static X tour, and We did, the Typo run on the West Coast. We did Prong West Coast. We did Danzig, Universal Amphitheater, and shit like that. It's weird for me because I don't think of myself at all like that. Again, I only make music. I never go, is this going to be a hit song? Is this going to be something that can get me signed? I don't want to be signed. I don't care if you come up to me with $1 million. All that tells me is that I got to owe you $3 million.
Exactly.
So I don't want to get signed. I don't want to go on tour anymore. I'll do small runs.
So how did you
those
feel?
work for me.
Yeah. How did you feel when you worked with Static X? When you toured with them? Tell us about the glamorous side and then the not so glamorous side.
Okay, well, I've known those guys for years. Prior to that, Tony even played in Skumlove for a few shows. And I've known Tony, and I knew all of Static X since they started at, they're doing Coconut teaser shows,
That's crazy.
and they were just called Static. I even know both
really?
did those. Yeah,
Okay.
they were just called Static, but I guess there was another band called Static when they got signed, so they changed it to Static X. But I've knew Tony from backyard party East LA death metal shows when we were teenagers. And he had a big afro and just fucking metal dude. So Constance was their manager, Constance Loudon, and she was like, your name came up a couple times. We were trying to figure out some openers for this next Static tour. And Tony, said, yeah, they'd be cool with us. And do you want to play? And I was like, yeah, how many shows? Well, we're going to try to get you on there's supposed to be 15 shows or something. It got moved down. I think we did 6 to 7 shows, but then we did a few headlining gigs in between on, time off. When on the way up to Montana for our first show, we played Utah at Kamikazes, and they paid us real well. And that was a disaster show, but they still paid us. It was kind of an experience. Then we got up to Montana. We played a one-off there at a brewery with the guys from Typo. They had their band Seventh Void.
Yeah.
Kenny and Johnny. And I've known those guys forever too. So we did a one-off, us two, and got paid well. They threw a party for us. They knew who we were. I was like, you know who the fuck we are? They're like, yeah, we're throwing a party at a place called The Rainbow. What? Bar called The Rainbow, and they're playing Cradle, Filth, and Cannibal Corpse, and they're giving us red Solo cups filled with Jaeger. And all for free. We're all fucked up. Rattan's fucked up. Everybody's fucked up. And we had to drive that night. So we kind of spent the night in the parking lot and woke up still half fucked up. We need to get gas. Well, we got to get on the road for our first Static show. Hopped on. And it got to the gas station. It was closed. It was gone fishing. Literally, a sign said "gone fishing." Put money under the window and pump, or whatever. It was something like that. We're like, you don't have cash? There was nobody there, and we're like, well, what the fuck? So we kept driving, and we're on fumes, and the band, blah, 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 blah. We got to a truck stop that was just literally. We coasted in, filled the thing, went the next 2 hours to Grand Rapids or something. It was whatever it was called in Montana, to a 1,200 seater, and walked in, and we're like, fuck yeah. And we're getting our merch together, and we already heard Seventh Void was on that with us, and we're there setting up merch with them, and I already knew their merch guy. His name was Handsome. He used to work for Pantera. He was Vinnie Paul's personal assistant.
Oh wow!
So, and he wasn't very handsome, but he's an awesome motherfucker. So, we're setting up merch, and I hear Wayne's wife, at the time girlfriend, go, we're not paying that in merch. No, we're not paying that percentage. Fuck you. Take it out of the local band. Take it out the other bands. We're like, what the fuck? I don't like her. Everyone knows I don't like her. And I still think she killed him. So anyway, Handsome goes, "Don't worry, I got a plan." I go, "What's the plan?" Well, they can only take percentages of soft merch, which is T-shirts, things like that. They can't take percentages of your CD sales or stuff like that. Okay, so we're gonna make it that you get a free T-shirt if you buy a CD for $25. Because we do it the opposite way, right? You go
Brilliant.
buy
Yeah.
buy a T-shirt for $10 and you get a free CD. We did it the opposite way. So when they
Brilliant.
came and said, "So how many T-shirts you sell?" "None." "Well, it looks like you're missing some. Oh yeah, we gave them for free because look at the sign. If you buy our CD, you get a T-shirt. So everyone bought our CD, so we just gave them a free T-shirt." And they're like, So they came up right before the show, and they're like, "You didn't give us a rider. We don't have a rider for you or anything." I was like, "Oh, just need some water, maybe 6-pack, 12-pack of beer or something." "Well, what kind of beer you like?" "What do you guys want?" Because I wasn't drinking, and they're like, "Some Corona or something. It'd be cool. 12-pack of Corona." Okay. They brought it to the merch table because we didn't have a dressing room. And end of the night, we got off stage, and the crowd was crazy. I have photos from it. It was a really good show. We did really well. Got back to our merch table in line to buy our merch. We sold like $500-$600 worth of merch that night. We almost ran out. I had to
Awesome.
stop because I go, "We need more for the next few shows, and we got to call the label to have them send more shit out." Stop, So I went upstairs to get paid by the promoter, and he goes, "Okay, here's $100." And I went, "No, no, 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 no. We're supposed to get $300 a show." "Yeah, but we gave you guys a case of water, a case of beer." "That's not $200. I can buy that at the store for $20." "Well, yeah, it's the price at the venue." And I'm
Wow.
like, and I don't really have a contract. I'm just under Static X. So Tony's like, "Fuck." So back up a little bit because you want the dirt stuff too. So I'm talking to Tony. He's getting his shit ready on stage, and his tech goes, "I got to run the Guitar Center to a music store. I'll be right back in about 20 minutes." So I was like, "Okay, we're ready for sound check." And Tony's like, "Okay." He's like, "My tech had to go to the, go get some stuff from the Guitar Center or some shit. Scummy, can you help me?" I was like, "Yeah, what do you need, bro? I've teched for you before, because I've toured with Static X many times as a tech and stuff. Just hand me my shit." "Okay, cool." Well, the tour manager at the time goes, "Okay, we have to clear house. We're about to do sound check. Everyone out." I'm standing there, and everybody leaves. And he goes, "You too, Scummy." And Tony goes, "You're not kicking Scummy out. He's like part of the band. He's been here since we started. He's going to tech for me." Well, John or whoever was his tech at the time is gone. He's like, and he goes, if he leaves, then I leave." And he goes, "Fine, fine. Just stay behind over there on the side with Tony." And you hear, "Okay, house is clear. Come on in." Double doors open from where the tour bus is. And Tara walks in hand in hand with Wayne, like literally went 1, 2, 3, let's go. Like they're royalty. Tony's like rolling his eyes. Get up there. And Wayne, "Hey, Scummy, how you doing, man? Good to see you on the show, brother." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I miss you, "Oh, yeah, yeah." Because we lived down the street from each other in Burbank. I think he lived on Adams and I lived on Elm. So we're right like a block away from each other. I saw him all the time. And so they sound check, and I'm helping Tony out. His tech shows up, and okay, the tech's here. I'm going to leave now. I walked back out, stood by my van because we had a Schecter van at that time. And we played our show, made good merch, didn't get paid well. And then Tony's like, "Fuck, they didn't give you. Want me to go say something?" I'm like, "Nah, don't worry. We made great merch, Okay. So we're standing by their tour bus, which was an Affliction bus that Vinnie Paul owned and was loaning them. And Tony and I are standing out front, and some guy comes up with like a Wayne Static signature guitar, like had like metal grade on the outside, you know, B. He's like, hey, can you guys sign my guitar? Tony's like, yeah, sure. Signs it, you know. And he goes, well, you too. And I was like, oh, I'm not in Static X. I was like, yeah, you're in Skumlove. We watched you do. You got to sign it. Okay, and I signed it real small by the edge, you know. And I feel weird doing that. It's not my guitar, not my, you know.
Yeah.
And then he goes, do you think Wayne will sign it? Will he come out here and sign it? And Tony goes, no, but you can go up there and ask him. And he opened up the door. He goes, he's probably in the back getting a blowjob from his wife. She'll give you one too. Go ahead, go up there. And the guy goes, why? He goes, get up there. And the guy gets up there. Tony shuts the door. He goes, let's get the fuck out of here. We run back in to the bar. And, you know, so, because no one liked Tara. She kind of came in and took over.
Everybody was saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. Their old, their tour manager, you know, back in the day, his job was to come out. His name was Royal. Beautiful guy. Always wore Hawaiian shirts. Very nice guy. Would come out on stage with a platter of shots. Everybody would do shots. You know, during a intermission, everyone go grab a shot, do a shot with Static, and Royal would come out. Well, now it's Tara's turn. I'm doing the shots. My job. There's a little X on the stage on the side, and that's where you stand and dance on stage for a set. And I'm like, we don't even have dancers anymore. What the fuck, you know? And I remember she came out with the shot thing, and I was between the barricade and the stage, you know, in front of Tony, rocking out, listening. And I think this was our last show. Yeah, this was our last show at the Eagles Ballroom. And she come over to Tony, and Tony's like, fuck you, I don't want that. Then he turns down to me and goes, go give me a shot, tequila. I go, she just goes, I ain't take shit from her. Go give me a shot. So I ran to the bar and grabbed a shot of Patron for me and him, ran back, handed it to him. Then they cheersed on stage, you know. And then I walked back to the merch booth, and fucking Rattan's selling, you know, drum skins and drum sticks and all of our stuff because it's our last show of the tour. We're getting rid of everything. And our old drummer, BT, was there. You know, he came in to support. His wife was pregnant. So the promoter comes up. This is great. The promoter comes up and goes, all right, guys, last show. You guys did great on this, you know, run. Come on back so I can pay you. And a couple times he paid us only $100 each time, even if we said we don't want anything. And so we went to the back. And said, all right, guys, here it is, $300, and handed me a roll of money and a rubber band. Here you go. Sign right here. So I signed the receipt for $300. I walk out, and I take it out. I'm like, yeah, sure, it's $300. I take the rubber band off. I'm all 20, 50, 100, 2, 3. It was $600. I'm all. So I took 3 of it, put it in one pocket, and rolled the rubber band around the other one, put it back in the other pocket. Walking back to the merch table, and he comes running up. Hey, what did I give you? I didn't even count it here. Let me take the rubber band off. 300. That's all I gave you? I go, don't you trust me? My name's Scum. He goes, okay, shit, I don't know what I did with the other money. I walked off, and I ran up to the merch booth. Pack up the merch. We're out of here. You know, and like Static just finished their last song. You know, people trying to buy shit. Yeah. Here, just take it. Go. Running to our bus or our van. Get in our van and drive off. And Johnny Kelly messages me like 15 minutes, 20 minutes later. Hey, man, where are you? Oh, we left. You left without saying goodbye. What the fuck, dude? So we're going to have a drink and all that. Dude, I had to go. Well, we have to wait here because the promoter doesn't have our money and has to go to the ATM to get our money. I'm like, when he pays you, will you do me a favor? This is very important. Because, yeah, I go, when you get in your bus and you're gone, call me. He goes, okay. So he called me. What's up? I tell him the story. He goes, so you got our money too? That's fucking hilarious. That's awesome. You guys deserve it anyway. He fucking kept stealing your money.
Exactly.
You know, because we would play like a shithole in like Fargo to like 50 people that some fan put together that I still talk to. And he put it together, and Budweiser sponsored it and gave us these big 4-foot posters, you know, Skumlove posters that they made. There's like 50 people in there. And the bar's like, all right, so here's your $500, and then you get 50% of everything at the door. So here's another $300, and it's connected because in Fargo, it's like the bars and the liquor stores are connected.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys need any supplies, go ahead and go to the liquor store and grab whatever you need, waters, beer, whatever. Thank you very much for coming out here and playing. So humble, you know, so nice.
Yeah.
And we'd leave, played a couple more shows on the way home, and got home. So the whole thing with the Static X thing was Wayne was awesome, Tony was awesome, everybody was awesome, you know, but the whole Tara thing, it was like a black cloud.
I know, it was such a weird thing. I remember like everyone talking about it and no one liking her. And I'm like, why does he like her?
Yeah.
if no one else does.
She had the best vagina ever, apparently. But when he moved in by me in Burbank, he bought a house over there, which now Roy Mayorga lives in. You know, I drive by and see him, and he's cutting these big hedges. He had these 10-foot hedges blocking his house. He's up there on a fucking staircase, or what is it, a ladder, cutting the hedges, but his hair's all up. Now, if you know Wayne, which I've known him since they started, that's only for stage. He always wears a trucker hat, hair down, trucker hat, sweatshirt on, shorts, you know, and or flannel, and then he's up there with his fucking hair up. And I drive by honking. I go, don't cut the wrong hedge. You know? He turns around and sees me and waves at me and flips me off, you know. And I'd see him at the bank, and he's in tight pants. And if you know Wayne, he doesn't wear tight jeans. He was a, you know, baggy, you know, like shorts kind of guy. He had tight pants on and pointy boots on, the cowboy boots, hair up with the striped shirt on. So I'm walking up going, who's this guy at the bank? Looks like Wayne, but that's not Wayne's clothes. And I walk up and I go, Wayne? And he turns around, hey, Scummy, what's up? And I look out and I go, that's his car out there. He drives a Stingray, you know, his nice car. Not Stingray, but it was I can't remember the name. It's a real like you know, street race kind of car. And Terry get right out of the car and come running up. I'm like, he's like, hey Terry, you remember Scummy? Oh, hey, how are you? Well, we gotta hurry up and go. Come on.
She made him dress up that way?
What you have to be a rock star 24/7 is what she said.
Oh God. Ew.
They got to a point after Tony and all them, they left, and they were just doing Wayne Static. He tried to do Static X, but the thing is, Tony and all those guys still owned a percentage of Static X.
Yeah.
Especially Tony. So it'd be like, I'm going out of Static X, and Tony'd be like, go ahead. You still got to pay me my 25% or whatever it was.
Yeah. It's a shame.
So then he wouldn't pay Tony, and then Tony would have to sue, and it was because of her. And then So then he started going out as Wayne Static, because she's like, well, just call it Wayne Static, because that's you, and fuck Static. Well, then the shows weren't as good. Next thing you know, they're living in a trailer being pulled by his pickup truck. That's how they toured, in their house. They lived out in the desert, so he got rid of his house in Burbank. He had everything, all this beautiful stuff, and people who loved him. His ex-girlfriend prior to her was like the most nicest, sweetest
I
girl.
remember her. She was so sweet. She
Yeah.
was
And
heartbroken.
I mean, to tell you how close, my daughter Nikki, who's now 36, announced them on stage dressed like Wayne. She did her hair up, had the striped shirt on, and she was like 8 years old.
Aww.
At House of Blues Anaheim, and came out. Please welcome Static X. You know, my daughter. That's how I have so many laminates from the tour. You know, and
It's just, man, I think that don't you feel like the industry, that's the, and I can't even say the industry because I don't know where the fuck this woman even came from. She was a porn star or something.
yeah, she's a porn star.
Yeah, and then she just like suddenly took over like Yoko Ono,
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
times a gazillion. But you know, there's so much danger in the industry, and what you were saying earlier, you saw so many people getting into the drugs, getting into the, you know,
Yeah.
whatever substances, and that can become a very dangerous thing because eventually you just like downward spiral and that's it, you know.
I saw so much of that, and when, you know, everybody drank and dabbled or whatever, you know,
Of
and
course.
you know, back then everyone did coke and drank, and or you would eat a full pot cookie at the party and get freaking paranoid, and then I would scare you because I came out naked drunk.
You were there, that's right. Oh my God. Oh, I remember that all these shacked people were there, and I put it in my pocket for later at home.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I don't feel safe eating it here because I don't really do pot. And
Yeah.
then I had a few drinks. I'm like, oh, got a cookie. Fuck yeah. I'm
You ate the
eating.
whole thing.
I ate the whole thing because I thought it was just a cookie. And I'm like, oh my God. Suddenly I just started laughing. And then I felt like shit. JP and Jim, I think too, like we just all felt like crap the next day.
Yeah. But see, you know, everyone partaked a little bit. You know, I drank when I drank, but see, I would always go, tonight I'm going to get fucked up. Someone's driving me home, you know, or spending the night at someone's house, whatever it is. But this is my plan. I won't remember what happens. I'm going to be throwing up, and I'll be half naked. But
Oh, that picture. I got that picture of you being naked, standing next to me, hugging me, and we're having a drink, and I'm in my outfit, in my stage outfit. And I remember posting it one time, and people were like, "What the fuck is that? Where are you?" I'm like, "You had to be there."
yeah, but you know, I planned that, so it wasn't like I go, I have a drink and I go, I gotta have me another, and I gotta have me another.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I'd have a drink, like, yeah, I had a drink, I'm done. Or I
yeah.
go, tonight's my birthday, I'm gonna get plastered, or tonight's a special night, or it's whatever it is. Like at NAMM parties, at the Schechter NAMM parties,
Oh God.
Jim will tell you, I didn't drink.
Oh, you didn't drink? I was gonna say I loved those parties. I loved like with Wagner and Schechter. Those times, honestly, sometimes I wish like, can we just go back to that one more time? It was just
Right.
so organic and
The
fun.
one time I got fucked up at the NAMM party is when you guys played at the Anaheim House of
Yes.
Blues with Typo.
And I got really sick myself.
I wasn't working for Schechter yet, but I was an artist like you guys. So I showed up and I was under the Jaeger luge.
Oh yeah.
With it on. You know.
Yes. We loved our Jaeger.
Right? And I think that was the last time, because I was just like, I was thrown up in the parking lot, and Sherry's trying to get it all out now because you're not getting in my car throwing up like that. And I don't remember, I had probably alcohol poisoning or whatever. But, you know, everyone partook. But then when you have someone who's an addict and it's a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and they keep pushing it because they want to bring you to their misery.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what that was.
Yeah.
And I saw so much of that. I still see that. Like, it's different. Like, you're a musician. Jim's a musician. I never saw that with the two of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't go, Jim, get over here. And Jim then go, Jacqueline, get over here. You know? He didn't do that. You didn't do that.
I did it behind closed doors. I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Well, that's different.
No,
But
I would tell Jim though. I'm like, okay, you gotta dye your hair. He hated it.
yeah.
Like I was like, oh, I want you to have black hair. And he's like, ah. But then he would kind of like it. Or in the beginning, when I tell him like to act different on stage, and then I realized, because he was like, I just don't want to look in the crowd. I'm like, Jim, but you gotta engage. And
Yeah.
then people loved like trying to get it like a shot of his face. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
keep doing what the fuck you're doing. Like times a gazillion. Like just don't show your face. Like try not to. I love that. So
Yeah.
in a way, it was kind of funny that it ended up being his thing. Where people are like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I think I got his face. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like I think that's really dangerous when you try to tell people who to be and what to do.
Yeah. And
Because then you lose your identity.
that's the thing when you have a band, and it's a band should be a gang.
Yes.
It should be a family.
Yes.
And even if you have a lot of people going in and out of the, we went through drummers like there
Oh
was
God, yeah. We always had.
we would have your drummers, and then we'd fire the guy, and he'd be in your band, and then vice versa, back and forth. But you should be all on the same page, and you guys
Yes.
are together. That's what I like about a band.
Yeah.
The camaraderie of all of us together. And when you put a girlfriend and or a boyfriend in the mix that
Not
isn't
good.
in the band, isn't
Not
part
good.
of the band, their only thing that they're thinking about is their partner getting successful so they can ride the coattails of that success.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, right?
True.
And it happens a lot. It happens so much. But they're sitting there going, you're the best. You're the only one in the band that anybody cares about. No one else cares. We don't know who those people. You are the star in this band. That's how it happens. Yeah, I guess I am the star. And it's a person, it's usually a singer who has low self-esteem already. That's why he sings, to get the words out of his mouth that he can't talk to people about. Right? So he sings it. And then the girlfriend goes, oh, my God, you're the best. And, you deserve more money. You deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
And those guys are just, they're living off of you. It happens a lot, right?
Wow.
So then you start believing this shit. You know how you know? Because watch, clock, 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 clock. Here's my vagina. Here's or whatever it is. And if the roles are reversed, here's my penis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
see this? This is why I'm doing this, is because you're amazing. You are a rock star. So I'm a rock star.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
you're right. Yeah.
They feed the ego. They feed the ego that you didn't have in the beginning. And that's what the Yoko Onos of the world do.
Mm-hmm.
And then believe me, I've seen it with women performers, and the man do it to them. That's why I don't like I always tell people, like, in a relationship, and I've been with my wife, God, 14 years, 15 years, I think now.
Damn.
But for a long time we had when we first met, we kind of had an open relationship because we didn't want to we loved each other, but we didn't want to race into it. You know what I mean? And many times during our relationship, we would have an open relationship. Then we close it, open, close, open. But we trusted each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think that's, again, it comes down to you've always been known, like for having a lot of girls and stuff like that. But you were never lying about it. You were never trying to act like, oh, no, I didn't do that. I don't do that. No, you were
you're
just
my only girlfriend.
No, you were always fucking upfront about that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is so much more valuable because that's how trust is built.
Yeah, and for me, it's like if you're in a relationship, you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
We stay within whatever rules, you know, that relationship abides by. But
Yeah.
what I wanted to get to is that a relationship should be a triangle. There is the top. This is you and your mate together. This is your world. You live together, have a family, whatever it is, you know. This is your world. But this corner is your world. This corner, his world. Now, it is all joining. So down below this line here is when sometimes, hey, I need your help with what I'm doing on my own. Sure, I'll come over there and help you.
Yeah.
I need your help. Like
Yeah.
my wife isn't a big fan of my music, you know. She's not like, oh my God, I love your band and I just want to be. She doesn't want to go backstage. She doesn't want to follow my band. She goes, go do your shit. You know? And she's an artist herself.
Yeah.
So I'll say, babe, can you come to the show, the whiskey show? I don't have anybody to sell merch. And my kid Max loves, you know, to go to shows. Oh yeah, can I come down? Sure. So they watch my merch table. But she's never going, where are you going, babe? Why are you walking away from the merch table? You should be here with us. We're your family, and you should
Right.
be here.
Right.
I'm going, I'm rock star today. I'm upstairs in the dressing room. You know, even though I'm not doing anything, I'm sitting there talking to Matt and everybody else in the band. And of course, I do come down. Hey, babe, how's everything going? You need something? You need a drink? You need a food? You guys good? Whatever. She helps me with my merch.
Yeah. Help
and
each other.
she'll Uber there to the whiskey and Uber home with our kid. Because my whole car is always packed with equipment. I got to go back to the studio, dump all the lights off and the equipment. And then she goes, babe, I'm doing a convention, a horror convention. I got all my artwork and I got a booth. Can you help me? Drive me there and help me unload, and then I'll set it up. You can go home. Great. Or it's a big one. I'm going to need your help. Can you stay? Sure, I'll stay.
Yeah.
And if guys approach the booth, for instance, I could tell they're like, hi, I really love your artwork. And oh my God. I don't go, hi, that's my wife. You know what I mean? I go, I'm going to move out of the way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let her flirt a little bit and make her money off the, yeah, I love your shirt. Oh my God, I love that too. Oh, that artist is great. Yeah, thank you so much for loving my art. Here, yeah, I'll sign it for you. I'll take a picture with you. Cool. I stand over there. That's her part of the triangle.
You made
get
another,
what I mean?
Yeah, you made another great, I love what you said, because it's really healthy, you know, to do that. Like to everybody has to have their own world, and like, don't fuck with that. But I like what you said about a lot of times when you play a show, especially I remember in LA, you pack everything up and then you go to your fucking studio and you unpack.
Yeah.
Because you need your van or your car the next day.
You have to go to work, and you don't want to leave your expensive shit in the car and it gets stolen.
Exactly. You know? So that's also the not so glamorous part, right? You're done playing a show. Everybody wants to talk to you. The club wants you to pack up so they can leave at some point. You know, it's always this like tug, like pull and push. You know, you want to hang out, you want to, you know, socialize, and then at the same time you got to pack up, and somebody has to do the merch, somebody has to talk to the fans. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is. I mean, you know, and you know, people say, "Oh, well, you singers, all you have to do is bring a microphone." Oh. Really? Because I have my ego boxes that we have to bring. I have a full lighting rig now, like a professional lighting rig. I've got to bring it. All the amps fit in my car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it comes from my studio.
Yeah.
So I go, which amps you want to play at this show? Okay, we load them into my car and I drive them.
Yeah.
All the equipment's at my studio. You know what I mean?
Well, and also singers, you know, they say, yeah, singers get so much attention, but being the singer is a lot of responsibility, because you have to keep your voice in shape, you know, and of course, everybody's voice is different. Like some people can drink, party, whatever. I can't. So when I'm on tour, I have to be very careful what I'm doing, like how much I talk. I don't party. Like people think, oh, let's go to our house. You can sleep over. Let's all have a party. It's like, no, fuckers, we got to go to the next show tomorrow,
Yeah,
And
exactly.
also people like you and or me, there's promotion involved behind the scenes, social media. You do
Yeah.
flyers, stickers, merch. There's so much involved in what people are doing. And I was going to say, also then you had a show, you had a whole night at what was that place around the corner? Why can't I think of it right now?
Skinny,
Which
skinnies,
one?
skinnies.
Yeah, Skinnies.
Yeah.
Then you did a show over there and you did so much shit to help the scene. And it makes so much sense now because when you said in the very beginning, you said, I just wanted to be, I'm a fan of music. I just want to, help bands and do stuff.
Yeah.
And you've always done that because even at Skinny's, you put shows together, you book bands, you did DJ nights.
Yeah.
It just, you do a lot of shit. And you are, to me, you are part of Hollywood music history.
Thank you.
No, and almost all the big players too, and you've been playing with the big players. So in a way, you get both of the worlds, behind the
Yeah.
scene, in front of this mic. And I love that you still play shows too, because honestly, you're a fucking rock star and you put on a great show.
Oh,
And whenever you are on stage, there's something about you that is just so real, authentic, and fun.
try to
Because
make it fun.
you don't give a fuck, and that's what you said earlier when you played punk a lot, right? You go on stage, you do your thing. You're like, I'm not trying to be the best singer, the best musician. And it's funny you saying, oh, I never write a song thinking is this going to be a hit or not. But I feel like 85%, if not 90% of your songs are hooky as fuck. You know what I mean? You'll sing them like days, weeks later, once you're at the show and when you hear a song in a live situation anyways, it's more contagious, and you can
Yeah.
feel it
Yeah.
more. But
See,
it
that's
just,
why I do that. I do it for me
yeah.
because usually when a song comes up, I'm in my car driving, and I'll go, you're pretty ugly, you're dead sexy, I hate you, baby, dig you like a grave, you do. And then I start singing it, and I start singing, dig you like a grave, and I start getting it, and it gets stuck in my head, and I dream about it. And the next day I wake up
Love
and I'm
that.
still singing it. I go, let me write that down. And then it's like, I need to put music to it. But the hook is because it hooked me.
Yes. Yes.
I don't look to see what is the hook so I can go find a hook from somewhere to do it. You know, for me, it's because it's in my head,
Yeah.
and it's something it's my words that are I don't know how it happens. It's something else. I'll hear something on the radio, like a person. I listen to only talk radio in the car. I don't even listen to music. Or I hear something outside, and like you're dead sexy. Oh, who's dead sexy? Dead sexy. What's also dead? Pretty ugly, dead sexy. It's the opposite of each other. Pretty ugly, dead sexy. And now, if you love somebody, what do? You hate them. Pretty ugly, dead sexy. I hate you, baby, but I love you. I dig you like a grave. So cheesy. I love it. Bam, and there's the song.
Awesome.
When I wrote "I Am Your God," I just wanted to put. I was writing a disco song. I was basically fucking around the groove box,
I
going,
am
"I
your
bet I could make a
God.
disco
I
song."
am your God.
I mean, it's slap bass on it. And then the lyrics, I want to make Bible passages naughty, and that's where "I Am Your God" came out. Get down on bended knee, put your hands together and pray to me. Things like that. Open your mouth and swallow the lights. Uh, burning bush. I could smell the burning bush as I parted the seas. Come on, child, and worship. See, it's stupid shit like that. It was cheesy and it's fun. And, it's kind of like I tell a joke lately. It's like, what's another way of saying, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned? Sorry, Daddy, I've been naughty. Same thing you're saying, but one and the other. I'm always about the contrast.
Love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's always my music, is kind of the contrast of a lot of that stuff.
And that's
But
brilliant because songwriting is all about contrast. It's about tension release, right? It's all
yeah,
about that. So yeah,
yeah,
you totally nailed it. And not only that, you marry people. You also do that.
yeah, yeah.
So you
I'm a
are,
minister. I'm a
you're a
DJ. I'm a
minister.
minister. I do it all.
You really do. It's just, oh God, I could talk to you for fucking ever, but I know that you got home 2 hours ago and you want to go and hang out with your family, so I'm gonna let you go. But honestly, we have to do more of that because I want to dive more into Skumlove and what you do, and also like the people you're working with, and you know so many rock stars. So I think, and you know what I love about you too. You don't give a fuck about saying shit. Like you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to burn any bridges or say something that somebody might be like, oh, I can't believe you said that. I love
I'm like,
that.
whatever. You shouldn't have done it, or you shouldn't have said it. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't regret anything in life for the most part, because even things that I fucked up, or things that I did that maybe I'm not proud of, I learned from it. I took it in and went, okay, I'm not going to do that again,
Yeah.
and learn from it, become a better person about it, and move on.
What is one of your biggest regrets?
One of my biggest regrets, and this is something you probably don't even know about. I have a son that I had with a groupie. She'd come out to all these shows when I was out on tour with Professional Murder Music, with Monster Magnet and all that. She slept with Matt for me. But my swimmers were faster. But
You baby make you. How many kids do you have? Five? That's it?
yeah, I
Oh,
have 3 actual blood children and 2 adopted children.
oh, I thought you had at least 10 kids. That's not that
Maybe
bad.
there might be more. I don't know. Um, but I gave up my rights, paid child support until he was 18, but I wasn't allowed to have any contact with him. And a couple of years ago, he found me through Ancestry.com, and he came to me, and he said, first all he wrote was "Hi" on the Ancestry.com message board. I knew who he was. I kind of stalked it to make sure, that's my son. I want, I'm not supposed to at that time, so I gave up my rights, and his adopted father, came. So anyway, started talking to him on the phone, and we're very much alike. A lot of same common things. Except he's really smart. And he's in school to be a lawyer. He's
Ooh.
in law school, full pay law school, because he went in for a full scholarship for math, got bored with math, and switched to law. So his adopted father disowned him, because at a teenager he goes, I think I'm gay. I know I'm gay. I'm queer. And his father at that time became like born again, and very got into the MAGA stuff, and was like, no kid of mine's gonna be gay, and he literally divorced his mom, left. So
Oh,
what I know,
wow.
he asked his grandparents, like, something doesn't seem right always in my inside. And this is how I felt, because I was an adopted kid. And they went, well, your real dad, his name is, we know him as Skumlove, but I think his real name's Anthony. And you should do the Ancestry.com. So he did it, 23andMe or whatever it was. And boom, popped up. And it popped up for me. But I didn't want to say nothing, because I was like, he doesn't know me. He might hate me. But he wrote hi. I go, I think we have a lot to talk about. He goes, yeah, I think so. I called him. We talked on the phone and had a great conversation. He goes, well, my adopted dad left because I came out of the closet. I married a trans woman, and we have a great relationship. And we just bought a house together, and I'm in school to be a lawyer. I'm like, what's not to love about this kid? And he looks like me. You know you know what I mean? And I go,
Yeah.
well, son, you get a lot of that for me. I'm sitting here in a full dress at the time,
Yeah.
I wear tutus and kilts and dresses, and I go, your older sister Mina is a lesbian. I go, my younger one, which was Shay, now Max. And like, I accept you however you are. I love you. You're my children.
Right.
If this is who you are inside, let it out on the outside,
Right.
and I will follow you to the day you die. And we both cried, and he goes, "Wow, I wish you were in my life prior." Sorry. And we still talk. We talk all the time. I have a group text thing with all the kids.
That's awesome.
So, as I adopted my oldest, Nikki, 36 now. She has grandkids. I have grandkids. She has kids. And and then I adopted my ex, Carly. I adopted her daughter, Mina. And of course, we have Dorian together. Dorian's my blood son. So,
Yeah.
but I didn't get to watch him grow up, and I wasn't there for that.
Right.
I fucking should have been. But I think it made him a stronger person because his adopted dad did raise him well. He was a fireman, and besides him getting all into really crazy stuff, because I'm all about vote whoever the fuck you want to vote for, whatever your heart tells you or your conscience.
Yeah, same.
And if you're, but also look at on both sides of what are they telling you? If they're saying these people are bad and only you and their people are good, that's wrong no matter what on either side. But I wish I was there for him for that.
Right.
That's if you say regret, that would be my only regret.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then I also know, fuck, he's in college to be a lawyer.
He's a good,
so something went right. He owns his own house and he's 21.
That's
or 22
fucking,
now. He's 22.
That's rare these days.
In Illinois. He lives in Illinois.
Wow.
Owns a house, goes to, law school, married to, his beautiful partner.
That's amazing.
He's happy. He has no regret.
Yeah.
To me, fuck yeah. So, now I want to be that dad that he didn't have.
And now you can be in his life, which is awesome.
Exactly. So that would probably be, I know, maybe you were looking for more of like my regrets in music or whatever, but
no, in general.
That would be my only regret. Sorry for tearing up.
No, that makes sense. I mean, you're a person. Music or no music, it's like we have a life, and you are a very kind person. So there's certain things that you care about. Another thing I like to ask my guests before we close the show: what's one of your pet peeves?
People who don't close the toothpaste right and don't fold the bags down in a cereal box. They just rip them.
Good one.
Don't close Ziploc bags good, because then the food goes bad.
Yeah, I like that. And what's one of your favorite beverages in the morning? What do you drink in the morning?
A Monster.
Still? I was like, don't say Monster.
I've got cases of it still. They still endorse me to this day. They said, you were the first, you will be the last.
That's amazing.
They don't really endorse a lot of bands anymore. They do Suicidal Tendencies and a couple other bands, and I'm just grandfathered in.
Somehow we have to figure out how Skumlove and Otto's Daughter get on like a Disturbed tour or something.
Right? Well, you don't want to hear something real quick?
Yes.
I am going to DJ a wedding coming up for Dave Draymond. He called me.
He got engaged. Yeah. So he's getting married. Oh my God.
So he called me and goes, will you DJ my wedding out here in Florida? I said, fuck yeah, I will. He goes, I couldn't ask anybody else. I have to ask you.
Oh my God.
So
will I tell you, this is like, I keep saying this all the time. I'm like, I'm gonna go on tour with Disturbed. I'm gonna go on tour with Disturbed. I keep saying that, like I saw them a couple of years ago, and I don't even know why I never saw them before. But holy fuck, they were amazing.
Yeah, they do. They throw a great show.
Amazing energy. And him, I love that he's just also he's a rock star, but then also he brings a side out where he brings people up on stage or like talks about their problems and highlights certain fans. And I'm like, how generous and how kind and how caring is that?
Well, because he gets a lot of slack for his, I guess, politics. But he's like, I look at this. It's like Israel is his homeland. You gotta stand up for your homeland. It's like, you're German. You're gonna stand up for your homeland if someone's coming and hurting your parents or your family back there.
Right.
No matter if the you don't really, it's like I'm gonna stand up for America even if I don't like the government. You know what I mean?
Well, I
I'm
think it's
standing for my home.
also, yeah,
You know?
yeah, I get that.
So,
I get that.
and believe me, and with war, it's so hard. It's like, because I have friends on both sides of that whole world, friends on both sides, and they're in the middle of it because it's not the people that are warring. It's not Israeli people or Jewish people, and it's not people from Gaza that are warring. It's politics.
It's all fucking politics.
And so I love that he's honest about that. And I did a thing where I was raising money for mental illness for musicians, and I literally put on my Facebook and went post, and then I hit refresh just to make sure it showed up. That's all, $1,500. What? What happened? Nobody has money in there. I just hit. So I refreshed a couple times. $1,500. Somebody already. How the fuck? And I hit it. $1,500 from David Draymond.
Wow. Yes, because he
private
struggled.
message.
Yeah, he struggled.
I messaged him, and he goes, "I've been there, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for thinking of us."
Yeah.
And
You know what?
anything I could
That
ever
is
do on that.
what you do. Again, no one does that. Not a lot of people do that because nobody thinks about that, but mental health and musicians, you coming from this high and you back home and you go, what the fuck am I going to do now? Being an artist, doing open heart surgery pretty much every night on stage, right? You're bearing everything. You're bearing your soul. You're giving everything. Then you go back in your shitty van sometimes, not always, but pack all your all your shit back in, and you do the same thing every night. And yeah, the glamorous part is awesome, but there's also a lot of, or even what you were mentioning earlier, where a band should stick together, but sometimes there's friction within the band, and you try to solve it, and that doesn't always work out. It's like five people being married, and it doesn't always happen the way you want it to happen. And then you have
It's
to
like a
figure out
Mormon wedding.
and then you have to figure out, we still want to be friends, but we can't be in a band anymore because we don't have the same vision. It doesn't work. It can't work like that.
I'm always like, there could only be one cook in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Everyone else is a sous chef.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I ask, hey, I need you to make the potatoes. I need you over there to make the greens. I'm going to make, you make the steak and this, and then I'll prepare everything together. And I'm the one telling, and we do it so we can put the plate out to the customer that's going to love our food. But don't get cut in front of me. No, you should do this and put more salt here. Put more salt. Now everyone's putting salt in this thing. Now it's over salted and no one's going to like it. There needs to be one person in control who drives, and you trust that person. And then you trust those other people. I had to say this to a band member not too long ago, that it's like playing a video game when you have the first person shooter and you get with other people and you're on your headset or whatever. My kid plays these games, and but you have to trust those around you. Okay, we're going down. We got to shoot the flag's up there. So I say as the captain, we go up here. We go to the right, go around this building. We should take out all those people there, and then we go up. I need you to back me up. You look behind me. You look to the left. You look to the right. Make sure we can get there.
Yeah.
And then you have the one person. Nah, I'm going to go to the left. I'll see you guys up there. but we're a team.
Yeah.
With you leaving, you just made the team weaker.
Yes.
And now you're weak because you're doing it by yourself.
Exactly.
But if we're all together doing it, and if you trust, not going to get you killed
Yeah.
at the game. Trust me. I haven't done it yet. Go. It's like I always tell people in my band, have I ever led you the wrong way? Have you played Universal Amphitheater? Have you played Nokia Theater? Have you opened up for some of the best bands you ever wanted to open up for? Yeah. Did you have to pay a dime for it? No. Who paid for it? Well, I guess you. So you should trust me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to lead you the wrong way because
No.
that would lead me the wrong way.
Exactly. That would totally make no sense.
So, at the end of this, that's basically it. For if any bands are watching this, there has to be someone who makes it. You listen to everybody. I want to play this show. How about you? How about you? How about you? Well, you know what? It's 3 against 1. We're playing the show.
Exactly.
Or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's that diplomatic thing partially, but ultimately I take all of that and I make the decision after listening to everyone's ideas. And it might not agree with that person A, but I agree with B and C. So you got to come along with it because this is how we all decided.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And you seeing all these bands, what do you think is I mean, that's probably one of the reasons, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between bands who fall apart? And I think us, I think we had a lot of potential
Mhm.
to be one of those big bands, right? For whatever reason, it was not working out. But what do you think is maybe there isn't even, right? Because there isn't one way, because what makes a band like Disturbed still be together? Maybe they have the right
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
the right vision, they had a good label, or another band that I really love, Falling in Reverse. And I don't know if we ever played with them or saw them.
No, the singer, he's got good ideas. He's got a
I
good,
love
but
Ronnie
but
so
but
much.
I think he's a asshole. I've met
I,
him a couple times. I think he's a total asshole.
really,
He's very
I
narcissistic,
love him,
very
but
narcissistic, and it's all about him.
hmm.
But on the other hand, he leads his band into success. So there is that. The way he
And he
talks,
speaks his truth. I like that he's
yeah,
he doesn't give a fuck. And I think that his label must be really supportive, because he says a lot of things that others might fucking cancel him for. And I think that's also
yeah,
bullshit, because everybody should speak that truth.
yeah,
Like you said, we don't have to agree, but we should be able to say what we want to say. Yeah, it's interesting to me that certain bands just and a label we talked about that earlier. A label, I think, I wanted to get signed in the beginning. And then at the end, I
yeah,
was like, unless the label knows a lot and can really get me to a high level where I
yeah,
can get a good audience, it's what you said. You give me like $1 million, but I'm gonna owe you like 3 later on, because you're gonna spend all this
yeah,
fucking money. It's a loan that I
yeah,
have to pay back. You
yeah,
know?
exactly. Well, it's what a lot of bands don't understand, like especially around summertime, summer, fall. Now, everyone's fiscal, and a fiscal thing in a company, there's quarterlies, right? The last one is where they want to make the most amount of money they can, so they can get the same amount of money back. It's like a city. Like
Hmm.
if you ever see, there's tons of construction on the city
Yes.
towards the end of the year. You're like, it's Christmas. Why are these people working on the street? Well, because their beginning of the year doesn't start January. Their beginning of the year starts like October, November.
Mm.
So they really need to work, because if they're given like $1 billion for the city, here's your fund. They have to spend it all
Yeah.
in order to get $1 billion. If you don't spend it all, well, you didn't spend $1 billion. So this year I'm only going to give you 800,000.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? And if you
Hmm.
go over, well, then that lets them know you always need more.
Yeah.
It's weird in business, right? So a lot of labels around this time, this is the worst time to get signed. They're signing a lot of bands, so
You're
they have
right
things
off.
right off.
Yeah.
They'll put a little bit of money in to get you a demo and swoon you, and then all of a sudden you get dropped in Christmas.
You just
And you're
gotta
like,
have the contract that you don't have to pay him back.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I was on EMP and it was not a good contract, but I just wanted to put some music out, you know, but it was very unorganized, and they weren't going to pay me shit. They didn't follow through with what they were supposed to do, which was going to make me vinyl and things like that. They put my album out for a couple weeks, my CD, and went, well, it didn't really sell at the stores we sent it to. So we're not going to make vinyl.
Blood stores.
And I'm thinking, you know, before I had a record deal ever, when I was just me selling out of my backpack at the Hot Topic, I counted up as all the CDs that I purchased and burned and sold. There's over 10,000 CDs, close to
Holy fuck.
20,000 CDs. I sold myself with
Yeah,
never having a full band, never playing a show.
that's insane. That's awesome.
That doesn't happen anymore at
No,
all, even with
no,
a, you know,
no.
but it was all word of mouth.
And you know what? In a way, this could come back to that because AI and like all this, so much fucking artificial bullshit. I think people are craving
Yeah.
the OG shit. You know what I mean? Where it's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, give me the freaking CD out of your freaking,
Well, that's the thing.
trunk.
It's like even these bands are using AI to like write
Yeah,
and to make music. How are you going to redo it when you get out on the road?
I know. Or backing tracks.
Yeah, all backing tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Like people go, well, you use backing tracks. I have some synth keyboard and some, you know, uh, uh, percussional shit, samples of movies, whatever the fuck it is. There's no guitar on my backing tracks. There's no vocals. Take that back. The Hey Heys during
Right,
Anti-American
right.
Idol because those guys forget to sing it.
Yeah, gang vocal. Like you gotta have
But
the
but I
vocals up
don't.
there.
But there's no lead vocals on my tracks.
No.
I have to sing it, and I have to tell you, I'm 52 years old now. I'm a way better singer now than I've ever been because I'm not thinking about anything else except just putting on a good show. I started retraining my voice.
Nice.
I don't drink at shows. I don't really drink anymore anyway, but I don't drink at shows. And I really condition my voice. I started because as you get older, as you know, your body starts to tell you. And I'll drink a couple monsters or some coffee or whatever it is, and soda because I love sodas and bullshit. But then I get to rehearsal and I'm dehydrated because I drink no water.
Yes.
And we're singing halfway through the set. I'm like, where's the water? My throat feels like it's like sticky and tape in the back of my throat. And I'm like, fuck. So then I have to learn, okay, I got to drink some water before I go on stage. I got to drink a lot of water before on stage. I drink my energy drink to get me that little boost, but I drink a lot of water. And then I'll have one on stage to keep me going, but I don't drink,
Mm-hmm.
And if I want to have a drink, I'll have one after the show.
Yeah, same.
But I condition my voice now. And I learned and and like everyone else, I go on YouTube and there's a couple guys on YouTube I follow. And I don't follow the real professional guys because I'm not a fucking professional. So I just go, this guy reminds me of me. And he's talking not in professional words. He's like, you ever do the witch crackle? The witch's crackle? I go, what? Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, when you do that, now try to sing out here and do it from here. And then you get to your raspy voice without doing it from your throat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how it's done. I knew that, but I forgot all about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now at 52 years old, I'm actually doing exercises for my throat and learning those things and stretching before a show and
Yay.
all these things. And the band itself sounds better than it has ever sounded in years.
You know what's interesting? We played a show. I laugh because I'm like we play like 1 or 2 shows a year, right? Out of
Mhm.
store in New York. But it always feels like, and I'm sure you feel the same way, it feels like you've never stopped. Like we get
Yeah,
on stage, I mean, we rehearse, but then we get on stage and I'm like, holy fuck, yes, let's
yeah.
go, you
Well,
know?
that's what happened at rehearsal the other day. Like we played with Spine Shank at the Whiskey. Show was great. It was sold out,
It's amazing.
and we got a really good feedback from fans and sold merch and fuck yeah. But then we took a month after that, like nothing. Let's not do anything, you know, not
Yeah.
even rehearsals. And we went into rehearsal a couple weeks ago, and we said, okay, well, we know the 30-minute set we did, but we got to do more than that. So let's throw in these other songs. And it felt great. I wish I would have recorded it because we sounded so tight, even though we haven't
Mm,
rehearsed in a month. We just know the songs.
yeah.
Then there's like last night when the two new song, not new songs, but two old songs we're bringing back. I was like, what are the words?
Yeah.
you know, and then the drummer's like, what do I do next? He's looking at me. I go, oh, and then Matt's like, I don't even, I don't know, where am I? And he's looking at the bass player, and bass player's like, oh, you know what I mean? So there was
Yeah.
and we're like, okay, so we need to do homework on those two songs, or we can't play them coming up in November, you know. So, but it just
Oh
had
man,
after a
that's
month,
awesome.
dude, it was great. So
Yeah, yeah. I can't wait. Hopefully we'll play some more shows together. Yeah. Yeah,
yes,
we're gonna go on tour with Disturbed.
yes, exactly.
You're gonna set it up.
I'm gonna call
That'd be
Dave.
awesome.
I'll
Yeah.
talk to Dave at the Riz wedding. You know, Dave.
Skumlove and Artist Daughter are like the perfect freaking opening band for your tour, and we're gonna go with you.
And
Like,
we know
yeah,
you like to give back to the bands.
yes, and our mental health has been, yeah, this will be
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
I fucking love this so much. Thank you for your time and your
No, and I
energy.
appreciate you so much. And like you say about me, you are always in so many different things and trying to do so many beautiful things and trying to get the word out and getting people together online. I watch you, I look at your TikTok, and it's not just about you. You try to do these things where
Yeah, I
tell
love
us your
this.
story so we can let everybody else hear the story. And it's not just, I know your story, you know my story, but some
Yeah,
people don't know each other's story. So it's great that you do that too.
yeah.
That's why
Honestly,
I think you and I get along
oh
so
yeah,
well, because
yeah.
we're very much alike in those perspectives.
Absolutely. I actually think it'd be so much fun to do a show with you, even like a short segment for my
Yeah.
YouTube thing and just like talk about music and like behind the scenes stuff because it's just so interesting and fans don't know about that, and it's
Mhm.
something that they don't really get to see or hear that often, and it's just putting things in perspective and also making sure that you support artists, that you fucking look at your handsome self. Now you're fucking in the light. But to support artists because real artists deserve the support and direct support whenever possible. Bandcamp or so where can people find you and where can they support you?
All you have to do is look up Scum Love with a K, Skumlove,
Yeah.
and we're on every platform. We're on anything and everything. If you just Google Scum Love, you'll
But
find
do you have a
it.
Bandcamp where the money would
Yeah,
go
yeah,
directly to you versus like Spotify's bullshit? Like,
yeah, yeah. You can go to our Bandcamp. We have all of our stuff on Bandcamp, and just look up Scum Love on Bandcamp.
uh-huh.
Everywhere, just look up Scum Love. I grabbed a name on every platform when all the platforms started to open up.
Yeah,
And
smart. And
so
also people could also buy merch directly from your website or
yeah, from my
Bandcamp.
website,
Okay. Yeah.
scumlove.com.
Okay.
I'm going to put up some new merch because our merch is kind of played out and stuff. And I go through one of those merch companies that they print to, order. And we get maybe $1 a shirt or some shit. So I want to find a new place that
Okay.
the quality is good and we can make a little bit more on it because
Yeah.
literally being in a band, as you know, is expensive. I mean, all my credit cards are, everyone goes, well, your credit cards are that way because you do. No, I don't go out drinking. I don't go out doing drugs. My credit cards is because I'm like, oh, we need these lights for the next show. Oh, I got to buy this for the show. All the equipment I own, I got to
Yeah.
pay the rehearsal room, which is expensive, and I
Oh,
pay it,
yeah.
no one else.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Yeah.
Matt pitches in a couple $100, but everything else is me because I have my DJ stuff, my lighting stuff, the band stuff. But if you go in my room, the drum set's mine, the amps are mine, the guitars are mine, the PA's mine.
And you're
So
smart. And you're smart
yeah,
because when you own it all, you don't have to worry about it.
yeah,
Somebody he's like,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, Matt even said, and he's been my guitar player since I started. He goes, these two guitars are mine, but if I decide to leave the band, all of this stays,
yeah,
and I go that way, and the stuff stays here because he
yeah.
did that last time. He goes, I'm moving away to Iowa, but
I remember. Yeah, yeah,
all this is here. And then I would fly him in for shows. Like, oh, we're playing with Ministry, at Nokia. You got to fly in and do the show with me and Garrison. Okay. And he flew in the day before, rehearsed with us for a couple hours. He's like, oh, I remember the songs. Okay, I got it. And then we
yeah.
go and play with Ministry, things like that. And I just fly him in for the
Fucking
big shows.
awesome. So
you
awesome.
know. But
So
see,
fucking
I
awesome.
have to pay for that flight, you know? So that's why, I mean, being in a band costs a lot of money and you don't make a lot. So you have to really love it. Love what you're doing and do it for the right reason. Do it because you love it. Because if you're doing it just to hopefully make some money off of it, A, it's the worst gamble ever. It's like playing a slot machine. And you're going to hate it afterwards. So don't do it for money. The money will come if you're good and you have passion in what you do. Because we play shows, like I said, we play the whiskey and we get and then all of a sudden Tisa calls me and goes, okay, here's your cut. Thank you for playing a show. We'll see you in a couple months. You have to come back. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I don't think of it in like, you have to give me money.
Yeah.
You know,
So
you
well
got to love it.
deserved. Yeah.
Okay.
Great final words. Much love to you, and we have to do more. We went
Yeah,
way over, but it was fucking worth it. And I already knew that.
exactly.
I'm like, love you,
Yeah.
Scummy, and I'll talk to you
Love it.
very soon, okay?
Okay.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, even though it was super long. It was very entertaining. And I tell you, Scummy and I think I would love for us to do a radio show because he's just so interesting and he's worked with so many interesting, amazing musicians. And obviously with his own band behind the scenes as a performer. So there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about in each and every episode for sure. But one of the main takeaways that I want to share is that just do it because you love it. Do it because you're really passionate about music. Because if you're in it for the money only, you're going to set yourself up for disappointment, for failure, and for just a miserable life. And I hope you really enjoyed his stories. And let me know if you would like us to do more shows. Would love to know that. Give me feedback. I know your time is valuable, so I appreciate you being here, listening to the show. If you think this could benefit someone or someone would really enjoy the episode, please share it with your friend, with someone who is really into music and interested in what's going on behind the scenes and a lover of music in general. If you are interested in linking up with Scummy, you can check out all the links in the description notes below, and definitely I always highly recommend supporting artists directly versus going through companies like Spotify or iTunes or whatever. Go on Bandcamp, go on their website and buy the merch directly from the artist. And if you would like to work with me, I have a confidence course coming up, and it's a weekly 90-minute course. And I don't even want to call it a course. It's just time we spent on Zoom where we do some burlesque inspired movements so you get back in touch with your body, to love your body, gain confidence, feel creative, feel inspired, and really love yourself again. When you start loving yourself, you are becoming so magnetic. You're also becoming alive again because you're really getting in touch with your essence, with who you came here to be, which is a beautiful soul, a beautiful person. Love should always start with the self. So if you're interested in that, I have the early bird special ending very soon. But if you are a listener of this episode, let me know and I will honor the early bird a little bit longer for you, which is only $33 per session. And I tell you right now, you're going to have so much fun. Maybe you haven't felt as playful lately. And we all deserve more time to move. And movement is really so important for us because emotions are energy in motion. And when we start moving our body, we move that energy around and we release that energy. We release the tension, we release the stress, make room, finding things that really bring us, light us up again. You know what I mean? Find your spark again. So, with that said, if you're interested in that, also links are all in the description below. And with that said, I'm going to let you go. Have an amazing weekend. And I look forward to having you back next Friday. Thanks so much for being here. Much love. Make every day a great day and always, always follow your bliss. Take care.